Coming up, Tzu Chi volunteers in Indonesia hold an aid distribution for veterans in North Bekasi. Charity organizations in Taiwan care for seniors' mental and physical health. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Mary Lee. Thank you for joining us. We kick off today's program in Southeast Asia. Working with the Indonesian military, Tzu Chi volunteers prepared aid packs for veterans in need in the North Bekasi area, as many of these soldiers lost an arm or a leg, thus making it hard for them to get a job upon retiring from the military. During the distribution events, volunteers made sure to bring not only relief supplies, but also their respect and gratitude to thank these veterans for their services for the country. When Indonesia invaded East Timor in 1975, Operation Lotus threw many young men into battle. Many soldiers came home injured and in retirement could only rely on their meager pensions.
This assistance helps to reduce my daily expenses. As I'm retired, I have not had a job since 1989.
The glory of the past is seen in the memorial plaques, but in reality, these veterans are struggling. Holding an aid distribution at a government housing complex in North Bekasi, Tzu Chi volunteers not only brought supplies, but respect and gratitude as well.
I'm grateful for the visit from Tzu Chi. On behalf of the people of Indonesia, I thank you for your support, for those who gave their lives for our country. The most important thing Tzu Chi did today was to show these veterans that we care for them and respect them.
With the help of military personnel, Tzu Chi distributed 235 aid packs, which included sundries and blankets. Knowing how much love these veterans need, volunteers plan to revisit them again in the days ahead. We have a follow-up report on conjoined twins, Jenilyn and Geraldine of the Philippines. After undergoing surgery to insert tissue expanders back in January of this year, additional saline solution has been injected into the two girls' expanders in the weeks following. Currently, the twins have grown an additional 6 centimeters squared of skin tissue and will be ready for the separation surgery very soon. Here's more on their condition.
Slowly injecting saline solution into the expanders is Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital Plastic Surgery Department Director Li Junda. Since the surgery on January 21st, Li has been injecting saline solution into Jenilyn and Geraldine's expanders 2 to 3 times a week.
As of today, a total of 350 cc of saline solution has been injected into the expanders. I think we will have to inject it 2 to 4 more times. But we need to check on how much their skin can expand. We need to make sure not to break the tissue expanders.
With Tzu Chi volunteers and their mothers by their side, the twins are much more at ease. After more than a month of effort, the twins have grown an additional 6 centimeters square of skin tissue and are ready for the separation surgery.
Our medical personnel, including those who will be in the surgical room, are ready. On March 11th, we will perform a simulation surgery in the number 1 surgical room.
Doctors and medical staff from various departments have also joined hands to come up with a well-thought-out plan to ensure the success of the upcoming operation.
Since purchasing the Neihu Grounds in 1997, Tzu Chi has not made any modifications to the land or the buildings on it. Now that the metal sheds that were originally there are in need of a replacement, Tzu Chi hopes to use this opportunity to overhaul the land and restore greenery to this part of Neihu. The Tzu Chi Neihu Grounds has remained unchanged for the past 18 years since the charity purchased it in 1997. However, as the metal sheds on the land are deteriorating while the cement pavement prevents water absorption, the grounds stand in desperate need of renovation. The law states that for any conservation area larger than 5,000 square meters to be developed, a rezoning application must be submitted. But public opinion varies on how Tzu Chi should go about such renovation, with some suggesting the restoration of the lake that was originally there.
First, we're restoring the original environment. Since the area was previously a lake, we can design the buildings to sit on top of the water. The foundation will still be in the ground, but the buildings can be 2 stories above the water. This way, the redevelopment will not have such a large environmental impact. Actually, we have made such proposals in the many meetings we have had with the city government. The conclusion from the meetings was we just had to follow the procedures as laid down by the government. We have this in an official reply from the government. Though legally we were allowed to do so, we decided not to elevate the buildings. When Tzu Chi first bought this land in 1997, it was already well developed. On the northern plot, there were asphalt surface and metal sheds. No efforts were made to preserve the original environment, nor did it have any water absorption capacity. It was not pretty to look at all. We hope that through redeveloping, we can change this area into an ecological park, which can also function as a recycling and education center.
The theme of Tzu Chi's redevelopment projects is to create urban spiritual cultivation grounds. At the recommendation of the city's urban planning committee, the floor area ratio dropped from 120% to 100%, and the grounds will feature green architecture, forests, and ponds.
The former deputy mayor, Lin Congyi, liked the plan we first submitted. He felt that we had been successful in incorporating the restoration of the original scenery into our design. Later, when we submitted a revised plan, we even removed the colonnade to make room for more vegetation.
The proposed new Neihu Grounds will be 65% lawn, while the remaining 35% will be buildings. The northern plot will feature a Jing Si Hall, a disaster coordination center, a volunteer training center, and a recycling education center. The southern plot will feature a kindergarten, a continuing study center, a library, and a community activity center.
On the northern plot, we will have a building where the highest floor will be 7 stories. The building will then regress, fanning outward down to 5 stories, and then 3. The reason of the design is for better air circulation. Due to the local geography, it can get windy here, so we want to redirect the wind into our classrooms and meditation chambers. We want to utilize the area's abundant natural light and wind. So 35% of the land will feature new structures, while the remaining 65% will become natural lawns, featuring an ecology park and detention ponds. When you look at it, you will see nothing but beautiful greenery, which will mirror nearby Dahu Park.
In the new proposal, there will be 20,311 square meters of lush green forests. With its emphasis on green architecture and the environment, the restoration plan is bound to have a positive environmental impact on the area.
To help maintain the plants surrounding the Keelung Jing Si Hall, a complex rainwater collection system was integrated into the hall. Though an amateur in the beginning, volunteer Wang Wenchong is now an expert in the area 3 years later. Flushing toilets needs water. Watering plants also requires water.
This reduces our tap water usage and maximizes the use of natural resources.
At the Keelung Jing Si Hall, a large oval-shaped detention pond with a capacity of 300 tons is hidden in the trees. Through the surrounding ditches, rainwater is collected and sent here.
We discussed this during the construction of the hall. He said we should collect rainwater and use it to flush the toilets and water the plants.
Thus, the detention pool was built inadvertently, helping the community sitting below the Jing Si Hall. The proof is in the sediment at the bottom of the pool.
When this detention pool wasn't here, all this mud just flowed down into the community below.
Actually, connecting pipes and a building drainage system is not Wang's specialty, but the complex rainwater collection system is the result of his hard work.
All the rainwater on top of the roof is collected and sent this way. The water can then be used in the kitchen and toilets.
The system makes the best use out of heaven's gift, and Wang finds gratification in seeing the plants surrounding the hall growing lush and green. We now turn our camera to Singapore. The Tzu Chi Singapore chapter will soon be hosting a 3-day TIMA conference where 360 medical professionals from the fields of Chinese and Western medicine, dentistry, and nursing are expected to participate. Prior to the event, TIMA members held seminars at hospitals and clinics to invite more people to take part.
In preparation for the upcoming 2015 TIMA conference, which will kick off on March 6th, TIMA organized an orientation for its volunteers to help them be better prepared. Since December last year, volunteers had already begun recruiting participants. However, things were not so easy in the beginning.
They want to go for a holiday, they need to clear their leave, and next year's roster not out, so they cannot commit.
Not everyone is familiar with Tzu Chi, and the TIMA conference focuses a lot on the humanitarian aspect, so it isn't like your typical science seminar. We were concerned about whether people would come to accept it or not. Then we felt that we needed to host this conference regardless, because we already have the Master's blessings.
Organize and then just fix up the date.
With everyone working collectively to invite participants, currently 360 medical personnel have already signed up.
Singapore is quite strong in scientific and clinical progress, but sometimes the humanistic part is lacking. So having gone for the missions and attended our annual convention in Hualien, I feel that this is something that we can bring back to Singapore and can benefit the whole of the healthcare sector in Singapore.
Hosting their first ever TIMA conference locally, Singapore TIMA volunteers are ready to shoulder the responsibility of allowing participants to experience Tzu Chi's medical culture that is rooted in the humanistic values of love and humanity.
According to the World Health Organization, if the elderly population of a country exceeds 7%, then that country is considered to have an aging society. Currently, Taiwan's elderly population is over 11%. As citizens are living longer and longer, living a healthy lifestyle is ever more important. In order to better provide for active seniors, the DaAi Tzu Chi Hospital in Chiayi set up an adult daycare center where seniors can go to spend the day with their peers, have some fun, and get some medical help if needed. It is 8 o'clock in the morning, and 85-year-old Grandma Chai has arrived at the DaAi Tzu Chi Hospital's adult daycare center.
Sometimes children are busy during the day and can't take care of their parents, but they are also worried that something might happen to them if left alone in the house. So we thought it would be a good idea to set up an adult daycare center to look after seniors.
Here, there are different activities each day for the senior to participate in.
We use games to keep the seniors active. There are also Tzu Chi brothers and sisters here to chat with. The seniors are thoroughly entertained when they come here.
Previously at home, she would suffer from slight incontinence, but that situation has improved since she has been coming here.
Many of the seniors who come here suffer from degenerative diseases. Thus, when the seniors don't feel well, nursing staff and volunteers are ready to assist at once.
I don't need to take time off from work because my mother-in-law needs to visit a doctor. Meanwhile, the seniors will feel like they are useless and a burden for their children.
With medical advances, the average life expectancy is longer than ever, and aging gracefully has become increasingly important. Adult daycare centers mean that children no longer need to worry about their parents, and the elderly can enjoy their days with their peers. Meanwhile, for those who don't have access to an adult daycare center in their area, they can still keep a healthy lifestyle by exercising.
If I didn't have a habit of exercising, I most likely wouldn't be able to move like I do now. I also plant vegetables. It's not good to be inactive. If we want to live, we must be active.
Taiwan is now considered to have an aging society, with an average life expectancy being 82 for women and 75 for men, for an average of 79. For the elderly, walking briskly is one of the best forms of exercise they can do.
Striding isn't as slow as a stroll. It can increase our heartbeat and maintain the muscles of the lower body.
下肢的肌力能够健全。
在时啊去行啦。
I walk a bit in the mornings, not long, for about an hour or so. It makes me feel good to go out each morning.
爽快就好啊。
Exercising is helpful in aiding the prevention of dementia and other degenerative diseases as seniors seek to live a life of health and happiness. Related to the topic of aging gracefully, through volunteering at Tzu Chi, many people, including seniors, have found their life calling. Born in 1939, Li Xue of Taipei became a Tzu Chi volunteer after retiring from the government. And through volunteering at the Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital, she is now living her life to the fullest.
At the Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital, 76-year-old Li Xue is carefully transcribing her notes into a computer, something she only learned to do after retirement.
I had long wanted to learn to use a computer, and since I joined Tzu Chi right at that period, other volunteers patiently taught me until I learned. It's just wonderful.
Li was then motivated to start learning on her own. Now the senior is well versed on the latest personal electronics and uses them to help her with her life.
I can now take care of many things on my own instead of depending on others. I told my son to appreciate me, as few mothers at my age can do what I do.
Keeping herself busy, Li is giving her life new meaning. At Tzu Chi, she learns which activity to partake in and learn from to further her personal growth. Through volunteering at the hospital, she has learned to better interact with others.
Having been a public servant for so long, I became quite reserved, but I am now moving forward.
Learning as she ages, Li says she has found new meaning and goals in life thanks to Tzu Chi.
Family reunion is what the Lantern Festival, which fell on March 5th, is all about. Prior to the eve of the Lantern Festival, a unique event was held at the Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital, where the patients of the Heart Lotus Palliative Care Ward and their family members conveyed their thoughts to each other through writings and drawings. In addition, they lit up lanterns to extend their blessings and prayers to people around the world.
Drawing with enthusiasm, palliative care patients of the Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital extend their well wishes to their family on a piece of paper and then fold it inside the red envelope. Suffering stage 4 liver cancer, Mr. Li draws with his family to extend his love.
On
the lower part is your lotus heart, with you always smiling. May you be vigilant on your pursuit of the Dharma. I hope to extend the love I have for my parents to every family, and may the suffering of all cancer patients end with me.
他们的病都能够都在我这边，到此为止。
The patient of the Heart Lotus Ward also received the lotus lamp from the medical personnel, and together they light the lamp and pray themselves as well as others.
慈济有一个莲花仙人。 那我用这样的象征。
The Tzu Chi lotus lamp is used to enlighten others. As my New Year's wish, I hope to illuminate other people's lives and help them find their way to wisdom and enlightenment.
生活当中得到智慧的方法。
As part of the hospital Lantern Festival celebration, patients and their family find comfort in each other and help spread familial warmth to others in the hospital.
Now we take you to Penang, Malaysia, where Tzu Chi volunteers cleverly arranged serene activities during a statewide celebration to promote the value of filial piety while ushering in the Chinese New Year. For those who took part in the fun, the activities brought both parents and children closer together.
In Penang, Malaysia, the state government welcomes Lunar New Year by organizing a large-scale festival where Tzu Chi volunteers were invited to promote traditional Chinese values. Through a simple game, children bond deeply with their parents.
为什么你知道这是妈妈的手？我的手比较黑。妈咪的手比较黑。对。哇！
今年感觉怎么样？你是想到好气吗？
高兴。
为什么高兴？
太高兴了。
啊？
高兴了。
这个游戏好不好玩？
好玩，好玩。
为什么好玩？
因为可以跟我孩子这么亲近。
Through the events, volunteers pass on the value of filial piety to all the participants.
妈妈，妈脸舒服吗？舒服吗？
At this moment, all the hardship the parents endure in raising their children have melted away. Through the activities, participants form a stronger bond with their children at the beginning of the new year.
Staying in Penang, Malaysia, we meet Huang Jiapeng, a dialysis patient for more than a decade. Huang has been pushed to the edge financially by the high cost of dialysis. To help, Tzu Chi volunteers have been offering him free treatment since 2010, enabling him to take care of his ailing mother. Grateful to Tzu Chi, the man was inspired to become a certified Tzu Chi volunteer, hoping to give back to society and help those in greater need.
In Penang, Malaysia, the small flat with simple furniture is where Tzu Chi volunteer Huang Jiapeng calls home.
I got the approval for this flat back in 2012, and by this March will mark the third year since I have lived here.
62 years old Huang Jiapeng suffers from hereditary hypertension. As a result, he has been taking medication since 21. Later, he was even diagnosed with kidney failure.
I started dialysis treatment in 2000, and during the treatment, my entire body was swollen. I was unable to eat anything.
He once thought about ending his life due to his illness. Thankfully, the filial man thought of his elderly mother.
Every day, he and his sister took turns to take care of his ailing mother, who was paralyzed in bed. Without any complaints, he would ride his bicycle home to take care of his mother after his dialysis treatments.
Since 2010, Huang began undergo free dialysis at the Tzu Chi Penang Dialysis Center. During this period, he also became a Tzu Chi volunteer.
Here at the beautiful Tzu Chi Center, many tree leaves fall down on both sides of the entrance. Sometimes we help clean up the area, as we hope other dialysis patients will also come join us to help maintain the surroundings.
Huang Jiapeng became even more active in his volunteering work after his mother passed away. He said he wants to extend the love he held for his mother to society by devoting his time and effort to help the people in need.
In Canada, Tzu Chi volunteers from Richmond hosted a Lunar New Year event in which Defense Minister Jason Kenney came to join the celebration and greeted participants in Chinese. He also praised the good work that Tzu Chi has been doing across the globe and hoped to continue working together in helping the less fortunate. We will leave you with these images at the end of the show. Thank you for watching our program. See you next time.